Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I hope you will see something in the video that will motivate you, or perhaps you learn something and you will subscribe to my channel. And if you know anybody that needs to be inspired by a soon-to-be 72-year-old grandmother that has been gardening for 40 years, please share my video. It's May 13th and it's 9:30 in the morning. Did you know that you can have different temperatures in different parts of your garden? You sure can. You see the fence right here and the corner right over there? That gives my garden a windbreak, and also it is the part of the garden that is not very sunny. So because the sun is not shining over there all the time, I plant my shade tolerant crops. So if you're a new gardener or inexperienced gardener, check out your garden for microclimates and where the sun hits it. Now I'm going to go around a little closer and show you where the sun hits my garden this time of the day and most of the day. I'm going to enlarge it so you can see right there where that line of demarcation right there from shade to sun. And this is where I plant all of my crops that can handle the blazing sun. Okay guys, it's the same day. It's 11 o'clock a.m. now, and I just want to show you how the sun is hitting my garden, especially the part I'm getting ready to show you right now. Over there in that corner, you can see it's getting filtered sun, enough for those tomatoes and sunflowers and strawberries. But earlier, it wasn't getting hardly any sun over there. So it's good to know your garden microclimates as well as the sunshine. Now I'm gonna go closer, and I'm gonna go down the aisle that I hardly ever go down and show you my pollinator's dream. But before I do that, let me tell you that I was going to make this a short video, but then it was just too much for me to put in a 3-minute video. Because I plant a lot of flowers, I don't have to worry about pollinating most of my crops. I'm going to show you I hand pollinated one squash and how I got zucchini and squash and watermelon to be pollinated by the bees and butterflies. I was over here earlier watering, and I shot a little video and I'll insert it in. Isn't it beautiful? I am absolutely blessed and thankful that I can grow so much in this small space. Here is my dwarf crookneck squash, and let me go down and move these leaves apart so I can show you all the male and female flowers on here. And it now has a lot of squash that has been pollinated by the pollinators. And right here, see this large one? That's the one that I hand pollinated. But you can see there are a lot more that have been pollinated, and we're going to have some squash. Now usually this time of year I get attacked by the squash vine borer, and at one point I was going to give up, but I decided to try a technique that I have never tried before, and that was putting aluminum foil around the base of the plant where the borers go through. But I'm showing you this bug zapper for a reason, and that's because I think it killed a lot of the little moths that lay those squash vine borers. And I'm very thankful that I bought this solar-powered bug zapper. Over here, I'm just showing you how the bees are swarming around. The sugar baby watermelons, the zucchini, and I haven't hand pollinated anything over here, and you can see my fingers wrapping around this large zucchini that I can harvest in a day or two. And there are several more. See that one right there? And there's another one. You see look like blossoming rot at the bottom. That's not blossoming rot. That's simply it didn't get pollinated. I wish I had seen that one earlier and hand pollinated it. But you can see the bees are all around in here, so I don't even have to worry about it now. The bees are swarming around my sugar baby watermelons. And there are a lot of little small watermelons that are going to grow very fast. As you can see, it's going from flower to flower. And if you look real close, you'll see real small little watermelons. On April 16th, I did an experiment. And I told you guys it was an experiment, so I didn't want you to try it until I saw the results. And what I did was I applied aluminum foil around the base where the soil meets my zucchini and squash to prevent or slow down the squash vine borers from going into it. And so far, it seems to be working because I haven't seen any evidence of the squash vine borer. But you never know. So do this if you have, a large space garden where you have a lot of seedlings or starts to experiment on. But if you don't, I wouldn't try it. I need to remind you that I spray it with BT every time after I water or after it rains. BT will kill the larvae, the eggs of the squash vine borer. I just want to share with you how I get these green onions from Whole Foods. I cut the tops off of them, see? And then I sprinkle them down here to dehydrate naturally in the sun around my tomato plants. This was the last bed that I planted, the $7 bed. You see I've got tomatoes over here growing on them already. This is the 100 sweet. So I put basil in here and marigolds, but at the time that I planted them, I didn't have any onions. So every other week or so, I ordered from Whole Foods and have it delivered. And then I get some onions in that order. And this is what I did this week. So I'm just strategically placing them around this bed because the hornworms don't like the smell of it. I'm gonna put one down here. You can't hardly see it. So this is how I companion plant tomatoes. Onions, basil, and marigolds. And so far, I haven't seen any evidence of hornworms. And you will know because they can devour a whole tomato, a whole branch in one night. And I'm going to show you what I come out here when I see a little black poop. And I don't see any on all of my plants. But when I do, I'm going to show you later in the video what I do to catch them. And I haven't caught any in years because I have been companion planting all of my tomatoes like this. But you never know what'll happen. Look at that. It's a lot of tomatoes. I have to wait until it's dark outside. So I'll be coming out later on tonight to share with you how I can catch those hornworms at night. So while I'm here, just let me show you the garden and how well everything is growing. Look at all of this I've grew from seeds. The eggplants, I'm going to go in a little bit closer here. Guys, that flowers, are turning into tiny eggplants. After they are pollinated, then they turn into fruit, just like your tomatoes and your squash and your zucchini and your watermelons and your cucumbers. Remember when I cut down my peppers? It's called topping. Look at those jalapeno peppers on there. Nice size. All of them are growing very vigorously. And I'll be sharing with you during the very hot summer how they are going to produce fruit because they are heat tolerant. Now, which I'm showing you my Texas Red Star hibiscus, I'm pointing at all the blooms that are getting ready to appear. I've just been growing this for a long time, guys, so I know when they're getting ready to bloom. So now I'm going over and I'm showing you my cucumbers. And my sugar baby watermelons. And the bees are going around pollinating the cucumbers, even though it's a Bay Alpha cucumber. It's self-fertile. It doesn't need to be cross-pollinated. But the bees don't know that, and they're doing their thing, thinking they're helping me out. or are they really just looking for food? Ain't that cute? I could sit out here all day and just watch them do their thing. So I'm showing you the little bitty cucumbers, and now I'm going to show you the cucumbers that I'm going to wait until Brian and Bria comes home from school. Teach the children while they're young. They get excited, guys, when they see the fruit of our labor. See all those cucumbers? Yep, and these are their favorite. And children will eat more fruits and vegetables when they participate in the growing of them. You'll be surprised that some kids don't even know how the fruit grows. But Brian and Bria does, and they will always remember how to grow food. The Bible tells us to teach them while they are young. And right here I'm showing you more little bitty sugar baby watermelons. We're going to get probably about 8. After I get about 8 or 9 on the vine, I will start trimming the vines off and let them just produce the fruit, because this is a small space garden. And here you can see that I am training the vines to go up the trellis. You have to do that every few days, okay? And if you don't, they're going to just sprawl out everywhere. So after I water, I go through and I see what I can do to assist in the vine staying on the trellis. And then eventually those little thin little tendrils that you see, it'll start curling and wrapping around the vine. And then I will put some type of netting, pantyhose, sheer knee-high socks, whatever I need to do to encase the watermelon and tie them up to the vine, because I don't want to lose them. These are really juicy. They are very sweet. They have a lot of seeds. Once you grow one, you're going to keep growing the sugar baby watermelons, because you'll get those free seeds, and that's a nice little one that's going to grow right there. You remember last week when I told you guys that the more you deadhead your roses, the more they'll grow? Because we had a really rough rainstorm, thunderstorm with high winds, and it knocked all the blooms off. And I told you guys, don't be afraid, deadhead them. Look how vigorously they're coming back. And this is the one that had hardly any blooms on it. Look at it now. Deadhead your roses, people. Okay, guys, it's 9:30 at night. And I'm getting ready to go outside with my black UV light. And as soon as I go outside, the Ring outdoor cameras are going to illuminate, so it won't be as dark as it should. That light is on right there. But I'm gonna walk over to the garden area. The weather is so nice out here. And that noise that you hear in the background is the filter on the swimming pool. But I don't have any tomatoes over here, and that's what I'm looking for. But I have a lot of tomatoes right here. So I'm just going to take my light and I'm going to shine it all through here. And I know I don't have any worms because I haven't seen any evidence, but I just want to demonstrate to you that this black UV light will illuminate the worms. And I haven't seen any evidence. I haven't seen any poop that I showed you in the video previously before I came out here. But just shine the light all around it and it will illuminate the hornworms. Now I'm gonna move over here and look at all of these tomato plants over here. I'm gonna try to go in closer. And there are tomatoes. You can kind of see them. They're gonna be getting bigger and ripening soon. And by the way, this light will illuminate pet urine like cats and dogs. It'll illuminate bed bugs. You can read the description on Amazon, and it can tell you all the useful things that you can use this light for. But I'm just demonstrating it to you guys. I know I don't have any hornworms because I haven't seen any chewed up leaves or any little pieces of poop. I see something right here, but that is not a hornworm. Now I'm over here looking at this 100 sweet cherry tomato plant, and I don't see any evidence of hornworms in this plant over here. Now let me walk over to here and show you the ones that are in the green stalks. And I don't see anything around here. Nothing but tomatoes. And I'm just doing this for demonstration. I may be repeating myself. You do that sometimes when you get my age. But I don't see any hornworms or any damage. Again, I just did this for you guys to demonstrate it, how you can catch them, and I have caught them in the past. You see that bug zapper over there? You can hear it. It was just going off. And this one over here was going off as well, and I've got to clean this one out because it has more debris in the other one. It really works. So I'm just looking through here. I'm gonna end this video. I hope I taught you something or shared something with you that you can use in your gardening journey. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I love you, and God loves you too. Bye now.